Hello, children of the night, and welcome to Terror Nights with the Hanged Empress. Here we do shadow work following the moon.
Yo, VI, play the beat.
Hello, children of the night, and welcome to Terror Nights with the Hanged Empress. We were doing a little pre-shuffle, getting ready, getting going, and what had already unfolded before we got started was the Five of Swords. Naturally, with Mars going direct and finally getting out of that shadow phase in Leo, we have an opportunity for exchange. It's a power exchange. That doesn't necessarily have to be something that breeds discontent. It's more like an exchange of where and how we're going to direct our energies, the points that we're making with our thoughts, with our actions. We're giving them more intention now. We're putting them in their proper place. Having our thoughts and having our actions and our programs that we've been running, we had the opportunity to observe them, and now we have the chance to act in a more correct way. So I like the Five of Swords as our opener. I think that it definitely speaks to our emotional connection to our thoughts and our actions and what it is we really want to bring out. Page of Swords, Page of Cups, and the Six of Cups all dropped out reversed. It's about putting down our more childish actions and feelings or thoughts about feelings, how we express our feelings, putting down the over dramatization that can occur from the Page of Cups and the Page of Swords. The pages are young and without containment. They feel what they feel and do what they do without really thinking very far into it, without really making any plans. But these ideals are being put into the past. They are no longer a part of our current programming. We are elevating, moving forward. It's not that we want to discount any of our thoughts or feelings. We're just not blowing them up into something that they don't need to be. Keeping things steady and moving in the direction that we want them to go. Good judgment. We might be feeling a little bit stuck with our judgment. Wait for that. We'll see. We're testing out the new microphone, so maybe you can still hear me. But we're playing outside today, getting a little sunshine. Alright, so what might be stuck in our minds, on our plate, is that good judgment, actually knowing, wait. Maybe I shouldn't dive headfirst into that emotional development. Maybe I should approach these waters with a bit more caution. Maybe I shouldn't just act before I think. Maybe I should think about how my actions are going to play out and how that is going to affect the resolution that is judgment, that is your conclusion, that is your cause and effect. Flipping the deck around. going crazy with it. Yeah, we're just trying not to get crazy with it, while also getting a little crazy with it. Knight of Pentacles also came out reversed to join the ranks. I feel like we feel a little unprepared for this. I feel like we kind of still feel like we don't really know what we're doing. We don't really know where we're going. What is this? Why? Do I even have everything that I need? You do. You really do. As long as you packed up the important things. I almost feel like that knight is just really tired. He's just ready to rest his head. I feel like he's been walking through this desert carrying this canteen for a very long time. We've been playing with this card for a while. But now, I think it's time that he has a rest. It's not a lack of fire that I'm feeling. It's not a restriction or a containment. It's good boundaries, good balance, good structures, knowing what truly serves. With the Six of Pentacles, it's bringing things into a better balance and knowing exactly what goes where, when, what feelings are appropriate for this situation, what actions are appropriate for this situation, how much time and energy are we willing to invest in these particular situations, weighing out those pros and cons, but acting in real time. It's really moving quickly, even though it kind of feels like we're slowing things down at the same time. It's like going so fast that everything seems slow because we've done the proper mental work and programming to know how to react in those situations, to identify what is good, what is bad, what is right in the moment, and what is wrong for the particular energy that we are dealing with. Because all of the elements and all of the alchemical connections that we make with any human being is not going to be a carbon copy of something that we created before. There's always different amounts, different ingredients, different things that we're working with. But we can kind of lump and group things into a general good or bad outcome based off of that. So much reversal. Knight of Cups, Queen of Wands, and the Seven of Cups. Most of this spread is coming out with stuff we don't want to do. We don't want to be too overbearing. We don't want to make an offer of emotional connection where it isn't wanted. We don't want to be overwhelmed with our emotions, but we don't want to be too strict either. We don't want to be, again, too binding. It's about a good restraint, something that, like a good discipline to our actions. We don't want to be overly constrictive in order to prevent growth, but we also, again, don't want to be overwhelmed by our emotions. There is a lot of cups being turned down here. A lot of cups. You might have a lot of cups, a lot of emotional offers that you're turning down right now. Like, no, I don't think that's the one. No, I don't think that's it either. But it's good to be choosy and to know where it is that we truly want to invest our emotions, our energy. Is pouring into this pool going to serve my purpose? Is pouring into these people, places, and situations going to promote good growth, because we need not just that structure, but we need that life source. We need that water. We need the sustainability that the water and the pentacles can bring us, just as much as we need the restrictions and good decision making from the wands and the swords. We're putting it all together. All of the pieces are going into place. This puzzle is moving faster and easier than we anticipated, though it seemed overwhelming at first. Temperance, also reversed. Why was so flipped upside down? Why was so flipped upside down, guys? Ah, the pool. The pool at the feet. That's it. It's a reflection. It's the reflection. Because it is. It's all about applying that temperance. But it has more to do with what is being projected from the internal into the external. So, whatever it is that we are internally choosing to pour into, give structure to, support, all of these things come from within and they are reflected without. And I think that's why we've got so much reversal here. Not because we're necessarily not experiencing things on the outside, but because investment, Four of Pentacles at the bottom, but because we are actually, in fact, projecting and reflecting. Can't get these cards to come out straight. Seven of Pentacles. Not being overly analytical either. It's a steady, steady balance. The temperance being applied underground, the structures and weighing of decisions and actions being above ground. And though I said we're not being hasty, we're not being too cavalier with our thoughts, feelings, and actions. At the same time, we're not wasting too much time being overly critical. If we make a mistake right now, it's a good idea to just keep moving forward. Acknowledge that mistake, do what you need to do with that thing if you need to correct it, but don't spend too much time wallowing in it or being upset about it or putting too much time or investment into our failures. Our failures are simply another step down the road. So all we have to do is keep stepping with the acknowledgement of, maybe I shouldn't have done that one back there, but we'll do better next time. We'll do better next time. We're not going to sit there and try to overly correct those mistakes, because on a level, those things do happen for a reason. If you had an emotional outburst around a certain situation, if you felt like you were acting crazy, it might be that it was actually appropriate for you to act crazy in that situation, because that was your body telling you how uncomfortable you really were with that. Think about it. Do you act like that when somebody else says or does that thing? No, actually I don't. Well, why did it affect you that way when that person said or did that thing in that particular way? Oh, because the energy that that person was putting out towards me does not resonate. Does not harmonize. So making those decisions and knowing and understanding that not everything is supposed to work out perfectly or flawlessly. You're not supposed to get along with everybody in the world. So listening to your instincts, again, without overreacting, without giving too much weight to it, but also giving it enough value to know, oh, well, maybe I just shouldn't be there at all. Maybe I just didn't have any business there in the first place. And that's why I have such weird reactions in those circumstances and situations, because the whole thing doesn't resonate. The entire thing is not aligned with me. And we can live in that and know that and act through that. Chariot reversed. It feels like moving backwards to move forwards. Internal reflections. It's about getting that gumption, that motivation going from inside. It's it's hard to get yourself going sometimes. It's hard to get started. Atmosphere, Virgo. When I start up the motor, it still turns over, but nowadays a little bit slower. When we start up the motor, it might take a little bit for us to get going, but that doesn't mean that we can't get ourselves rolling, that we can't get ourselves moving. We just need that extra to come up from within us. We need to start from the inside, really commit to something, and not let ourselves put something down if we know that it's important. We got to get up. We got to get onto our horse and get moving. But it starts right here. It starts within us. We can't just expect motivation to drop down from the skies every time we want to feel motivated. Sometimes you just got to get up and get moving and get started, no matter how hard it seems, because the hardest part is getting started. Once you get momentum going, anything that you want to do is accomplishable. But you have to make that decision within yourself first. Taking you to reverse, reverse, reversed. King of Cups and the Lovers. And take that Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck because I want something to be upright, for goodness sakes. We want the Lovers to be reflected or projected in our external realm. The very first thing we need to do is to focus on the self-love of our own masculine and feminine, how the relationship with ourselves is formulated, how we act and treat ourselves, because that is the most important part about it. Knowing how to contain our emotions with this King of Cup, how to hold our cup with love and joy without, with a steady hand, without spilling, without overpouring, without getting intoxicated with these waters or wines that we are enjoying and drinking. So turning all of our focus in on how we stand and how we hold ourselves, that is what brings these internal things into our outer world. It's not about what's going on the outside. It's about starting it right here. And what we're going to do with that is what is going to come up from the ground. We're still in planting season. Actually, here, I think we still got a couple more weeks before we get past that last frost date. It's a little chilly, like 47 degrees. We're we're somewhat comfortable, getting a little chilly, but it's not quite time yet even to put things outside. Some things we could, but some things would not survive out here. Not at this time. Still a little too chilly, still a little bit too cold. I'm actually going to get a little bit more coffee here. The coffee's gone cold. The butter is coagulating on the top. It's okay. We have hot coffee inside. It'll warm it back up. But we're going to get through this. We're going to do this thing. It's not about the comfortability of our external circumstances. It's about finding that comfortability in ourselves. 2 days ago, 50 degrees in the morning, and I had all of the coats on. I was well bundled up because I was getting used to those warm temperatures. My blood's not thick enough to be sitting out here like this. However, today we had the momentum, we had the thought, we had the desire to come outside and do a read out in the nature, get us a little bit of this energy. And it wasn't easy coming out here, but at the same time, once we got out here, we started going before we even started going. The engine was already running before we even got all the way into the car. So, though we may feel like we're a little bit stopped up, really all it takes is determining all of those factors within ourselves and getting that engine going inside. And once we get rolling, we're doing it. We're doing all of the things that we wanted to do. We're seeing the results and the actions that we wanted to see because we put better intention into what we were putting out, what we were investing, what we were actually putting into the ground and growing. Leo gives us that warmth, that internal strength, and that steady burn, too, that's going to keep us going. So embrace that energy and utilize it to the best of our abilities. If I have more, I want to pull one more. No, we got to be closing out, right? How much more could we possibly pull? I want to go one more. I do. I want to just keep going. We could do this forever. But maybe we don't have more right now. Feeling that too. All right. I'm pulling Oracle. We're about at our quarter moon. What's up, Death? I didn't realize I put it. Oh. I did not put this in upside down. Death was just here. Death was just waiting for us. I don't remember doing this. The death was just waiting for us. That's what we're going to take. We're taking this. We are taking the death. We are accepting it. It was already waiting for us. It was already at our door. All we had to do was open it up and be like, ah, oh, I can put that down now. Yeah, let's put it into the ground. Vehicles. The old programming is going down. Or it's being put into its proper place. Because again, those negative reactions, those bad programs that we don't like about ourselves, actually do serve a purpose when they're appropriately placed. There really are circumstances and situations where you gotta act crazy because you gotta keep yourself safe. So putting an end to the attachment to those things and embracing the eternal cycle that begins here. Oh, okay, so I reacted that way because this situation was wrong. If I change the elements and go over here, I can act this way, and things will result in better growth and circumstances. It's a new beginning, children. It's an opportunity for us to start fresh, for us to do what it is that we really wanted to do in a better way with a more directed and tamed heart, mind, body, and spirit. Everything that we want to put into this, we're redirecting. Going back. Going all the way back to the beginning. Pulling that Five of Swords back up. We are redirecting. It may be uncomfortable. It may not be the easiest thing to just get up and get started. But once we start turning the pages, once we start turning those swords into their appropriate locations, everything is going to unfold. That chapter is going to close so that we can move forward and act appropriately for our circumstances and situations and get ourselves growing something that's actually worth growing, something sustainable, something that we want to see in our lives. That was intense. Thank you, Leo Moon. I hope you all have a fantastic evening. We'll see you next time.